In a juvenile prison, I once had an inmate climb up on the rail of a third tier. So, I don't know, that's 40, 50, 60 feet high, right? Think of the setting. It's not a private, closed hallway. It's not where there's nobody visible. This is a cell house in the Department of Corrections, 3 tiers high, and he climbed on the rail of that third tier. And the housing unit was full. So now you got this inmate on the third tier on the rail, threatening to jump, and you've got a cell house full of inmates just watching. So there's chitter chatter, right? Like, oh man, he's crazy. He's gonna jump. Is he gonna die? Right? I mean, you're hearing all kinds of things. At the same token, you have staff that are responding differently. Some are freaking out, some are nervous, some aren't sure what to do. So everybody is looking for direction. Everyone is looking for direction. Now, I had to make some decisions because I actually had two things going on that were critical. Number one was to prevent him from jumping. Number two was I needed to get the cell house locked down. Now, most inmates know the protocol. They know to go to their doors. Doors will open. They'll go in. Most. But you can have the odd inmate challenge at that time. That could have been a distraction for something bigger. You don't really know in the moment until you can control and gain control of the situation, because it could turn really bad and now you've just got mass chaos going on. Think about if he jumps, everyone's watching. Think about if a fight breaks out and he jumps. I mean, it could be a disastrous situation. So we got the unit locked down. Inmates complied. You know they're going to watch through their little windows. There's no point in telling them to not watch because they're going to watch. You're just now screaming and yelling for no real reason because you got this guy 50, 60 feet high. So at that point, I was the lead. So obviously something's going on in him. I had a good rapport with this individual, and in a prison system, rapport, your word, it's all you really have, right? Is if they think there's integrity, you're not a fake, you're fair, it goes a long way. I had a good rapport with this individual. So I asked him what was going on. And I had to just sit there while he's standing and let him vent, right? Because at that point, if I could engage with him, I was hoping he would engage in me versus jump. And once I realized that he was just frustrated, right? He was frustrated. I'm not going to go into details, but he was just frustrated. He, in his mind, was on the verge of an emotional blowout. I realized he probably didn't really want to kill himself. So now my job was to figure out how to get him off the rail. So I came with the reality approach. Like, you jump, you're not going to die. You're just going to severely jack yourself up. Then you're going to sit in a prison hospital, prison infirmary while you heal. And guess what? You're going to have to restart the program all over again because this was a boot camp environment to start out the program. So you're just going to have to start all over again. So you're going to lose months on end where you're just sitting in pain and misery, and then you have to start all over again. And I was like, is that what you really want to do? And I know the answer because nobody in their right mind says yes. So he said no. And I said, then I had to play with him because he still wasn't getting down. So I had to use reverse psychology. And I said, hey, you know what? I mean, if you really want to kill yourself, why didn't you ask me for a rope? Again, that was a rapport thing. So don't take that wrong. I knew I could get away saying it and get the desired response out of him, which he would just kind of look at me and be like, yeah, and kind of chuckle, right? Because even he knows that if he jumps, he's just going to jack himself up. But he definitely wasn't going to kill himself, but he didn't really want to kill himself, right? This was just seeking attention because he was just ready to blow, right? He was just ready to blow. So the reality is, yeah, I pushed the boundaries there, right? Because I knew I could, because I knew him and I had a good relationship with him. So in an organization, if you're a leader, your job is to recognize when people are having off days. It's to recognize when that pressure cooker is about ready to blow. It's to recognize that they need intervention and that you have to step in and figure out what's going on before they blow. right? There's something that's taking them to this limit that they're just going to explode. And all they want to do is be able to release, whether it's say their opinion, something's going on at home, whatever the case may be, is they just want a chance to release. They want a chance to release. And that's the whole purpose of it is, did we miss warning signs? Thinking that this kid would take it to this drastic of a situation that could have ended up really bad if he slipped and fell? I don't know that we missed warning signs, because that whole program was putting pressure to break down the barriers, break down the identity, break down that mindset so we could rebuild back up, right? So we intentionally were doing things to create that pressure cooker. That was the whole fundamental purpose of the boot camp in this program. And it was actually very, very effective. So you're not going to do that in a corporate environment, obviously. You may push people because you're increasing standards, but not to the same degree. So where I'm going with this, in your organization as a leader, you've got to connect with your people. You got to connect so that when things escalate and it seems like they're out of control or it's going to blow up, that you have the ability to connect, figure out what's really going on, listen, and then come up with viable solutions to get the desired outcome. Because at the end of that shift, we got the desired outcome. He climbed down. We got him under control. We asked him if he needed to talk to anybody. He said he was good. And we went on with normal programming. I know that sounds crazy, but we went on with normal programming that shift. And that was the environment of, we dealt with it in the moment and we were able to get back to normal programming. And so it's the same thing. If you avoid and you don't address, your problems don't go away. Your employees' feelings don't go away. They still have them. So as a leader, you got to step up, raise the standards, be there, and understand that that's not a sign of weakness. It's just people needing help processing. Dr. Philip-Neri, hope you enjoyed this video.